Welcome to Samsung Next Meets. My guest today is machine learning expert Hamza Tahir, CTO and co-founder at maiot.io. Hamza, hi, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me, Skander.
Sure. Could you give us a short introduction into you as a person and your company?
All right. So my name is Hamza. I'm one of the co-founders and co-creators of the Core Engine, which is from the company maiot, who I am also co-founder of. We're based in Munich, and essentially what we're doing at the Core Engine is building a machine learning platform that enables the productionalization of machine learning end to end. Meaning the problem we're trying to solve is getting these really research heavy, like let's say algorithms and code bases from universities and all that intelligence down towards a production ready setup, and trying to build a platform that enables all the stakeholders within that space to really from the get-go build production ready machine learning, essentially doing something similar to what DevOps platforms have done for machine learning.
Okay, I want to learn more about that. On your LinkedIn profile, you say currently you are deeply interested in bringing proper software engineering practices to machine learning development. What does that mean?
All right, yeah, that was a throwaway line essentially, but I really mean it because it's to do with my background. So I'm really a software engineer turning towards machine learning at the later part of my career, and what I've seen is that it's the machine learning world and the software engineering world are essentially should be the same, because machine learning is more like software 2.0, and the only real difference in it is data. And of course, that is a hard to handle resource. But me and a lot of people around the space, especially people coming from ops and more the traditional software engineering spaces, have the opinion that that machine learning projects should not be treated differently than normal software engineering projects when being executed in the industry, meaning that we have history of many, let's say decades of principles and practices and philosophies that we use in software engineering to ensure that it's production ready, meaning that it's robust and can be used by other people. But machine learning code somehow is coming from a set of people who are not necessarily trained or like have the opportunity to be trained in those principles. And unfortunately what we see is that the artifacts of machine learning code are really hard to productionalize, which is obviously causing a huge sink of lost, let's say, resources and revenue and time within the machine learning industry. And we need to fix that.
And as far as I understood it, MLOps is an important part of that. You are an MLOps expert. But Hamza, what is MLOps and why is it so important?
Absolutely. Like first, I'm really an expert in anything. I find it hard to claim that, but essentially I've been working in the MLOps space since a few years now. And I think it's this term broadly encapsulates pretty much what I said in my last answer, because it's bridging together the world of software engineering, more like DevOps principles, and machine learning. And there's an understanding that it shouldn't be completely software 1.0, meaning what we used to do for mobile applications or web applications. So the word we use for that is DevOps. So productionalization, those sorts of applications are like that. But if you're going to productionalize machine learning, we use the term MLOps because we realize that there is a component in there, namely data, that is harder to manage and requires more philosophies to really solve the problems that we face, particularly in ML. And these are the sets of standards and philosophies that are evolving now, especially in 2020 and towards the end of it, where we as an industry are trying to standardize these things so that we can build platforms and tools like ours, for instance, to help solve these problems from the get-go.
All right. Hamza, how is machine learning evolving? What's next in machine learning?
All right. That's a good one. I think machine learning has gone through some waves of innovation. I mean, of course, everyone knows the famous winter of AI or machine learning, where, you know, in the 90s, early 2000s, where we really weren't seeing any breakthroughs. Then we had another era of post 2007 or 2011, depending on who you ask, where CNNs took off, and then we had this algorithmic Cambrian explosion of machine learning everywhere in the world. It went through the Gartner hype cycle. And now we're realizing that, yeah, of course, machine learning is not the bullet, like the golden bullet for everything. It doesn't solve all the problems in our lives, but it does solve some things really well, especially narrow intelligence, if not general intelligence. And the research community and the actual application industry has now drifted, where the research industry is now moving towards general intelligence, in my opinion, or trying to do the ultimate matrix style AI. And the application industry lagging behind is trying to productionalize what the research guys have given us. And that's where I think we have a new wave now, post 2018 and 19, of ML ops tooling, meaning how do we productionalize the wonderful algorithms and data that we have available to solve narrow intelligence. And I see that in the next decade and time to come, it's hard to predict. These will be in terms of industry, software engineering industry, what the most highly sought after people would be in terms of like knowledge they know and the platforms that we built.
Right. Thanks. Hamza, last question. Time for a shout out. Are there people in the ML scene you appreciate a lot for and would like to highlight for their work in ML?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the first person I would like to start from is Dimitrios from the ML Ops community. That's mlops.community. He's a person who actually a year ago started this wonderful Slack channel, and now it's grown into this really big, like as it says on the tin community, where pretty much every expert throughout from America to Germany to all over the world in different continents have been talking about these topics for months now. So he's the creator of that. A big shout out to him. There are specific people in that community as well who are actively contributing. One person that springs to mind just randomly, not because there's no one else, but like David Aronchick, who is the founder of Kubeflow, or the co-founder of Kubeflow, which is one of great tools, platforms for MLOps. He is a great innovator, and would like to have a shout out to him.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. And thanks for the ML Ops insights, Hamza.
Thank you, Iskander. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye-bye.